What is up, all you beautiful people? Is I, Akemi Plays or Akemi TCG, back here with a new deck list or deck profile for January 2020 format. Because this is a new format, the meta is going to adapt accordingly, and based on the ban list, there's going to be a lot of back row or control decks that are similar to that nature. So I decided to revisit my Harpie deck. I've had this deck for quite a few years now, and I've updated it accordingly ever since. But I just want to showcase to you guys my own version of it, my take of it. I understand that all these choices may not be the correct choices, but this is simply a deck profile, and here's how I see the deck. Just keep in mind, this is not an extremely meta deck. It's more so anti-meta, but there's a lot of choke points in the deck, which does make it a weaker deck than a lot of the other tier 1, tier 2 or rogue decks out there. Just keep that in mind. So I'm going to start off. There's going to be 40 decks, and there are 40 cards in the main monster. So we got Harpie Lady 1, 2 copies of that, and 1 Cyber Harpie Lady. I run Harpie Lady 1 because of the buff. The 300 buff is nothing to scoff at, especially when you use Hysteric Party to revive your Harpie Ladies. So that attack can add up pretty fast and could potentially lead the game. Next, I have 1 Harpie Dancer. I only run 1 just because it's not a very critical card in the deck, in my opinion. There are a lot of better alternatives, but there are times you want to get Harpie Dancer off. So if you have the field spell, you summon Harpie Dancer, bounce to the hand, summon back Harpie's Channeler, and then pitch the Harpie Dancer to get 2 pops off of 1 card. So there are times where that's useful, but it's more often not needed as much. And we got 3 Harpies, obviously. You get to search during the end phase if it's into the graveyard and it's there this turn. And the other effect is when it's normal summoned. A lot of people don't really use the first effect. I think I've resolved it once out of the 30 or 40 duels I've had with this deck. But you target 1 Wing Beast monster you control, that's not this card, and target another monster your opponent controls, and then return them to the hand. So it does target, which does suck, so you can't get over Avermax and stuff like that. But if there's a problematic monster, then Harpies can take care of it. 1 Harpie Oracle. During the end phase, you get the search if it's summoned successfully and it resolves. And one second. If you control a level 5 or higher Harpie Lady monster, I completely forgot about this effect, by the way. Then you can special summon this from the hand, but we do not run Scissors in this version of the deck. I've tried it, it felt too bricky, it didn't feel correct to play it. So the first effect's never going to resolve in this list. And 3 Harpie Perfumer. This is a requirement. You have to play this because it searches the spells and traps that you need. It searches any of the cards that Harpie Lady Sisters in this text. So a normal summon of this that resolves successfully is a free rank 4, because you summon this and you get Elegant Egotist, and it makes it pretty easy. Or you get Alluring Mirror Split, or any of the other ones you wish. Plus, it gets its effect when it's special summoned, so that's a double plus. And 3 Harpie Channeler. This is a must for this deck. There's mandatory requirement. You cannot play this deck without 3 Harpie Channeler unless you're playing like a mini engine. But even then, Harpie Channeler is just so free. Discard a Harpie card and get a free rank 4. Or if you play any Harpie's Pet Dragon, I personally don't play in this build, then you get a free rank 7. 3 Harpie Queen. You do need to search out the field spell at times, so that's why that's there. And it's a 1900 beater with Elegant Egotist. It becomes a 2200 beater when you summon Harpie Lady 1. So for the field spell, 2 Harpie Centigram, no terraforming because you have the searches with Harpie's Queen. It's not too essential to have this card to run this at 3 because you don't want to see it too often. So I believe 2 is the perfect number for this. 1 Harpie's Feather Rest. It's practically the Potter average, except it's 3 for 1 instead of 5 for 2. Not really much to say about this card besides the fact that you can search it with Perfumer, which is always a big plus. 2 Alluring Mirror Split. Main purpose of this card is so your opponent has to think twice before they whack into one of your monsters. Because if they have like 2 set back row, right, and you have the field spell up with the Learn Mirror Split, they go into attack into your Harpie, and then after that Harpie is destroyed by battle, you summon another Harpie from the deck, and then you special summon, or rather, you destroy one of their back row. So they have to think twice before they do this, and also you can summon Perfumer and get another plus off of it too. And the second effect is, if this card is destroyed by a Harpie's card effect or opponent's card effect, so you can use the field spell to do so, you can Monster Reborn one Harpie monster in your graveyard. And it doesn't say non-link, so you can actually get the link from it too, which is always really good. 3 Hysteric Sign. I found this critical at 3. I was running this at 2, but then I realized how much I need to use and resolve Elegant Egotist to go into any rank 4 plays. That 3 just felt like the optimal number. And plus, what is it? You can discard it to get the Hysteric Sign off too. It says, during the end phase of the turn, this card is sent from the field or hand to the graveyard. So if you discard this, during the end phase you get a +3. And this card can search any Harpie card, including Harpie's Featherstorm, which is critical, super critical in this deck. So a very, very good card. I like it a lot. 3 Call by the Graves. Just so your card is resolved properly. And Harpie's Channeler, if that gets Ash, it feels pretty bad. Or a lot of things in your deck can get Ash, including Elegant Egotist as well. So Call by at 3 is just a no-brainer for this deck. 2 Elegant Egotists. I used to run this at 1 because Hysteric Sign lets you grab it from the graveyard, but I felt like I always needed it in my hand, and I was never unhappy seeing this in my hand. So it special summons a level 4 Harpie. It has specifically say Harpie Lady, so you can pick any of the Harpie Ladies 1, 2, or 3, or Cyber Harpie Lady, or even the OG Harpie Lady, if you wish. So it's pretty good. Last but not least, 1 Monster Reborn. Just a good card. You need it in this deck. And with Harpie's Channeler, if you discard one of your, let's say, Harpies, you can just Monster Reborn it to get it back. That's already pretty good. And since this is a rank 4 spam deck, I am playing Double or Nothing with the Utopia double package. There's won me quite a few games with that. Traps, 2 Hysteric Party. You activate it by discarding 1 card, so if you actually discard Hysteric Sign, you can plus extremely hard with this. But you can also discard any of your Harpies and then just immediately resummon it, assuming you already have a different Harpie in your graveyard. So this special summon is as many copies of Harpie Lady as possible from your graveyard, and if this card leaves the field, then destroy those monsters. 9 times out of 10, you're already going to be linking off with them or exceeding with them, so the drawback shouldn't be a big issue. Unless they immediately Cosmic it, then that's something else. Then we got Spicy Text. We got not 1, not 2, but 3 Torrential Tributes in this deck. The reason why I play Torrential Tribute is, since we're in a trap heavy format, I feel like this deck does get the most bang for its buck, especially with the Link Monster. The Link Monster says that if that card or any Harpie cards with an S would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy 1 back row you have instead. So Torrential gets around that. So you would set this, have the Link on the field. Let's see, let me preemptively do that. You'd have the Link on the field, and you have Torrential, and you have, let's say, like Hysteric Sign face down. Then you can, they summon, let's say, 4 monsters. You know they're gonna go into Appaloosa, so you go into Torrential Tribute. And then, to protect this card from dying, you just destroy Hysteric Sign. Then during the end phase, you get a +3. So small combos like that make me believe this is really good. I think Torrential Tribute is extremely underrated, and not enough people are running it. So it's time to bring this back. Such a good card. And also, if your opponent overextends, you can hard punish that too. And then 3 Harpie's Featherstorm. You need this for the deck. This is a skill drain, essentially, but for the whole turn. Like the rest of the turn, your opponent can activate any monster effect. This is as a thought, but on steroids, assuming you have a Harpie on the field. Oh, it's pretty good. I really like the card. And that's 40. For extra deck, we got the Utopia package. So number 39 Utopia, Utopia Double, and Utopia the Lightning. You definitely need to run all of these. Utopia the Lightning has one of the games where you just attack with the Utopia the Lightning, and then you detach it, and your opponent cannot activate any spells or traps. Like, they can't activate nothing until the end of the damage step. So they have like 4,000 life points left, and they have a 1,000 beater on the field. For whatever reason, you just run it over, and they cannot activate anything. It's really good. It's pretty good for getting over Toad too. Gaga Cowboy, because time is key, and also 800 damage is pretty nutty. You'll often do like 7,200 damage with this deck for whatever reason, and you're gonna burn that per game. And obviously an Abyss Dweller for the graveyard heavy decks. Heartland Draco for the soft lock. If you have a face-up spell or trap card, then, and this is the only monster that you control, your opponent cannot attack you. So it's pretty good. Because it says, while you control a face of spell cards, this card cannot be targeted for attacks. And if this is the only one on the field, then your opponent cannot attack unless they get rid of this with a card effect. So I think it's really good. Tornado Dragon, obviously, for extra back row heavy decks. I know the field spell already does a good job of doing that, but just in case you don't have it, then there's another option there. Lightning Chidori, this card is so good. For all you that don't know what it does, on summon, you target a set card your opponent controls and put it to the bottom of the deck. And then, once per turn, you can detach one, not a quick effect unfortunately, to return a face-up monster your opponent controls, or face-up card, not face-up monster, my bad, and return it to the top of the deck. So extremely good there. And next is 2 Ice Speed 05. I find this card to be really good because it's essentially a walking skill drain. So for all of you that don't know what it does, is the summon requirement is 2 level 4 wing beast type monsters. You can detach one from this card, negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent controls until your next standby phase. And if you do all this, this card gains 300 attack for each face-up card currently on the field except for this one. So if they have a full field, let's say like 5 monsters, and you went to a Hysteric Party, so that's 1, and you have 4 monsters, including this, that's 4, 5, 10. This is 5,000 attack, and it's until the next standby phase. So none of their cards can activate their effects till their next standby phase. So if they have, let's say, what is it? Even Babel, because it does not negate activation, it says negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent controls. So I think it's extremely good, and I really do like it at 2. There are times where I used to play 1, and I'm like, why do I not play 2 of these? So I think 2 is the correct number for this. This card is extremely good. And 1 arc, I can honestly take this for something else, but if there's a problematic card on the field, then I can just soup it up. Unfortunately, it does target, so it doesn't get around Avermax or BLS, which does kind of blow, or Bora will load for that matter, but this can come in handy when needed. And for the links, I'm running 1 Harpie Conductor. This card is really good. I used to run this at 2, but then I realized I don't ever summon 2 unless I really need to, but that never happens. So for all of you that don't know what this does, is if a Harpie monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy a spell or trap card you control instead. It can only activate once per turn, but that's fine. So you can destroy, let's say, a Hysteric Side. You can destroy a Hysteric Party that you already use. It's completely up to you how you want to use this card. And the second effect is, if another face-up Harpie monster you control returns to your hand, then you can target a special summon monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand. The only way you're going to do this with this deck is either with Harpie Dancer or Harpie's Harpist. So I usually don't resolve that second one, but when it does, it also does come in handy. Win the Wind Charmer. have to play one of that because this deck is primarily wind, barring a couple of cards. You can target a wind monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon to a zone this card points to, so like all the other Charmers, excuse me. If this card is destroyed by battle, or destroyed by opponent's card effect while it's in its owner's monster zone, so when it's in my monster zone, you add one wind monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand, which is practically your whole deck of all winds. So it's not usually for the second effect, but for the first effect, if you're playing against any wind deck, the ones I could think of at the top of my mind in terms of rogue would be Dragon Maids in the potential future. Or if they play Tempest, then this will be good. I do summon this sometimes, but I do need the protection. Well, I need the guarantee, but that's that card. Next, IP Masquerena. You definitely have to run this just because you're playing Hysteric Party. So you summon IP Masquerena, and then Hysteric Party. And afterwards, with the Hysteric Party, you can have your options of links. You can summon Wind if you don't want stuff to get destroyed. You can summon Harpie's Conductor if you want to resolve some shenanigans. Because with IP on the field, your opponent has no idea what you're going to go into. No idea. And the last one is Topologic Armored Dragon. These two go hand in hand. And also, this goes extremely well with this, because Harpie Conductor protects your Harpie from getting yeeted, so you can destroy a back row like that as well. So Topologic is a really good choice in this deck. Same reason why I run Torrential. Next we got the rest of the stuff. For the side deck, we got 2 Wicked the Dragons because Lightning Storm's coming out and people are probably not going to play around this card. 2 Trap Tricks, because you are playing a plethora of traps in this deck that will be sided in the sideboard. So the 2 Trap Tricks, and then the 2 Sanctum with the Artifact Scythe. You definitely need to play these. With it, if they're playing any extra deck heavy deck, then you can Trap Trick into Sanctum and then do your shenanigans. And also if you set Scythe and you summon a Harpie during your opponent's turn, let's say with Hysteric Party with the field spell on board, then you can pop your own Scythe, and then they're looking at a board of a whole bunch of Harpies. So that's pretty good as well. 3 Dogwood. This card's good. Time is undefeated, so you have to play Dogwood. 3 Nibiru. This deck doesn't do too well against combo, so that's why I opted to play 3 Nibiru. And 2 System Down, because Orcus is still a thing, and I am terrified of that deck. So anyways, that is the deck profile. I know it goes a little bit long, but I want to go in depth with each of these videos. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm a Kemi Plays or a Kemi TCG. Alright everyone, stay beautiful. See you guys.
The world ends now.